Wonderful. Hello to all. Welcome to your virtual college fair. Matthew is my name. My pronouns are they and them, and I will be the host for tonight. I think you have a wonderful time ahead of you with some great schools. I just have a couple of housekeeping notes to say as we get started, and then we'll jump right in. To start, if you have anything to ask during any presentation during the time, the Q&A is open. If you'd like it to be to one school or to all of them as a group, just make a note and we will answer from there. Just a note, your cameras and microphones will be off. So as we're going through, please feel free to sit back. We trust that you laugh at all of our great jokes, and we trust that your outfits are fantastic. This is the end of the session times for this fair, but do keep in mind that your college journey is definitely for you. These schools will share some fantastic ways to hear more about them. And if you'd like to do so, please reach out and do so. Just a note too, that we will film this session. The same place where you signed up for this tonight, you can find a link to watch it once again. So if you'd like to focus more on one school right now, if you'd like to kind of take notes going forward, please know that that will be for you in about a week's time. The schools you will hear from right now are right here. We are in session 3, C3, where my cursor is right now. But with all of those notes being said, we will just start off with our first school, the University of Toronto.
Thank you so much, Matthew. I'll just share my screen. Okay, perfect. So good evening, everyone. My name is Maria, and I am a recruitment officer at the University of Toronto. Now, since we have a limited amount of time, I do want to simplify U of T for you and provide you with 3 main takeaways about the university. One is that we are Canada's flagship research university. U of T is a network of unique communities in the heart of one of the most dynamic regions in the world. And lastly, our students can mix and match their programs and experiences to build personalized degrees. So the University of Toronto is Canada's top research university. We're also among the world's top universities as well. And we attract the best and the brightest students, faculty from all around the world to our campuses, and have made some startling discoveries and innovations along the way. So things like insulin, the world's first nerve transplant, stem cell research, all began at the University of Toronto. We've also produced Academy Award winners, Olympic athletes, Nobel laureates, and award-winning authors like Malcolm Gladwell and Margaret Atwood. Now, the second takeaway was that U of T is a network of unique communities in the heart of one of the most dynamic regions in the world. If you've ever had a chance to visit Toronto, it's a very metropolitan city environment, similar to New York on a smaller, calmer, some would say slightly cleaner scale as well. But we have quite an international population where over 50% of our residents were actually born outside of Canada. So that brings a lot of diversity and has really become a melting pot within the city. Now, the university is actually older than the city of Toronto. So the city actually grew around our campus, and we've become a historical landmark within the downtown core. Today, we're Canada's largest university. We have about 71,000 undergraduate students, but don't be startled by that number, because while we are one large university, we actually have 3 distinct campuses across the Greater Toronto area that all offer our students with unique programming and learning experiences as well. So all 3 of our campuses are about an hour apart from one another. And again, they offer similar programs, but different offerings as well. So when you are looking at our campuses, you might be looking at the size, the location, or possibly our program areas. We have 5 learning communities at the university. They include arts, business, and sciences, which is the largest programming, and you will find these areas across all 3 campuses. However, programs like engineering, architecture and visual studies, kinesiology, and music are only available at our downtown campus. So again, when you're looking at our 3 campuses, you might find that the program that you're interested in might only be available at 1 or possibly 2 of the 3 campuses. And lastly, our students have the opportunity to mix and match programs and experiences to build personalized degrees. So being the largest university in Canada, we have the opportunity to offer over 700 program options. So there's lots to choose from. And no two students who have studied the same program actually end up with the same experience because there's so many different ways to diversify their student experiences. And actually, just to go back one slide, our students, that mixing and matching thing really speaks to your opportunity to study 2 to even 3 different programs if you want. So if you want to combine 2 different majors together, say engineering with a minor in music, you have that option. Or if you want to combine, say, biology and political science together, you can do that. If you want to specialize, say, in accounting, you can just do that as well. Or you can focus on one program and combine it with 2 minors. So there's many different ways that students can build their degrees. And so there's really unparalleled options. And of course, we want to give our students the opportunity to combine what they've learned in the class with, outside learning opportunities as well. So in terms of getting that career experience, we have co-op placements where you can alternate your study terms with working placements. We have research opportunities and internships as well, usually for second year students and onwards. If you're looking for more of a global experience, say Canada is not international enough, we do have a ton of international exchange partnerships available where you can travel across the globe and take a class, say at the National University of Singapore to UC Berkeley. There's many different options there as well. And we want you to have a life outside of the academics. So in terms of clubs and organizations, social, religious, cultural, political, you name it, we have almost 1,000 different clubs and organizations. We also have quite a robust athletics program, both at the varsity and the intramural level. Now, in terms of joining our community, we have an application process that is different to the American Common Application or the Coalition app. It is a Canadian process, but it's done in 2 steps. The first step is just submitting an online application where we're just asking for personal information like your name, contact info, and the school you attend. And the second step is to then submit your transcripts and any test scores that you wish to provide. In terms of our admission requirements, we were test optional for this year, and we will be test optional for the next cycle as well. So if you don't want to share your test scores or you don't want to take the test, we are not going to penalize you for that. But generally speaking, we are looking at your junior and senior grades. They do weigh the most. Our minimum GPA is about 3.2 on a 4-point unweighted scale. But our middle 50% data shows that the strongest students coming in have around a 3.7 to 4.0 GPA. So while we are prioritizing your senior year grades, usually Q1 or midterms, we will be looking at your junior year grades as well. Wherever math is required for a program, we usually look at pre-calculus or calculus. It depends on the program. If you are an IB diploma student, our minimum requirement is a total score of 28, but of course, more competitive programs are looking at a higher requirement. Now, one thing that's really different is that we don't look for essays when it comes to the admissions process, but some of our programs do have a supplementary application where we are looking for more information beyond your grades. So that concludes my little introduction to the University of Toronto. So thank you for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next school you will hear from tonight, University of Alabama.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. My name is Chris Paul. I am the Central New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania regional recruiter. What that means is I hope you will remember that I'm the first person you should contact if you have questions about the University of Alabama, and hopefully I will be able to answer those questions quickly, find that information, or refer you to someone who can help. I work specifically for the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I always make that distinction because we have 2 other campuses, one in Birmingham and one in Huntsville. But for the admissions process, all the campuses are separate. So if you are planning on applying to Tuscaloosa, you're only going to be able to do that through the ua.edu website. In Tuscaloosa, the total enrollment is a little over 38,000, and our undergraduate enrollment is close to 33,000. What is unique about that number is approximately 55% of our undergraduates come from out of state. I think for out-of-state students, it's a great environment. You're going to have students from all 50 states who are sharing a common experience. And I think that there's a lot of bonds and friendships formed because of that. We also have 76 countries represented internationally. So it is a diverse campus. It's really great having students coming from all over the world pursuing different interests. And it really enhances campus life. For academics, we have 77 total undergraduate programs. Our most popular programs start with the Culverhouse College of Business, then the College of Engineering, then the College of Communications, then healthcare, either through the College of Nursing or our pre-health advising program for pre-med students. And then the next major is the College of Education. With the 73 majors possible, we also have over 200 possibilities when you consider your minors and your concentrations. Campus life is very active. If you are interested in doing Greek life, the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa has the largest Greek life system in the country. If you don't want to do Greek life, that's okay. Approximately only 30% of our undergraduates do Greek life, so 70% of our students are not involved. So there are tons of other outlets for you to find your own communities in Tuscaloosa, and then hopefully beyond for graduation. We have over 600 student organizations on campus for diversity, equity, and inclusion. There are over 70 programs available. It's also very easy to start your own clubs if there's something that you want to pursue. That's also a great opportunity to pursue leadership opportunities. I think for the size university that Tuscaloosa is, we do a really great job focusing on the individual student. And our campus life is definitely an example of that, because we're really providing lots of opportunities for experiential learning and really giving you an opportunity to pursue lots of interest and maybe even discover something about yourself that you haven't already. Another thing that we do very well in Tuscaloosa is focus on student success. For internships last year, we were named the #2 university in the country by the Princeton Review. We're also the #1 SEC Conference University for internship opportunities. Also, what I think is somewhat unique about the university is all of our alumni will receive lifetime access to career services after graduation. So once you are a legend, if you're ever changing jobs, if you're ever looking for new career paths, you're always going to be able to rely on the resources and the networks that you did as an undergraduate. For the admissions, I'm going to be speaking specifically to the juniors. If you are a senior and are planning or still planning on applying this year, our application is open, and definitely contact me if you do have questions about that. For the juniors here, as of now, we have not officially decided on the test optional, but as of now, we are planning on requiring the test score. If that changes, we will definitely be updating that information. Right now, our requirements would be your SAT or your ACT and your official high school transcript. Beyond that, you don't need to submit recommendations or essays. There is no supplemental material required, and there is no way to submit that material. If we do go test optional, I would still encourage students to pursue an SAT or an ACT, because those scores will be required to qualify for our automatic scholarships. You see the chart here. If you have the GPA and the test score that is listed, that means that you would automatically receive that level scholarship. Also, after students are admitted, you will have the opportunity to continue retesting up until the February ACT date. So if you score higher, submit that score, will either qualify you for the automatic scholarship or increase that scholarship. For that process, we won't super score. So we are going to be looking at the single highest test score for either the SAT or the ACT. We also do have competitive scholarships. That application would be available to students after they get accepted. My recommendation would be apply early to the university. We are opening our application in July. For scholarships, the competitive scholarship deadline is January 15th. But another important deadline is October 1st, which is when, well, it's not a deadline, excuse me. Another important date is October 1st. This is when our housing application opens. The way that we do housing is we guarantee housing for all first-year students. But if you apply by February 1st, you will be able to select your own housing. If you apply after that date, you will be assigned housing. But when the housing application opens in October, that means that students who apply first will have priority. So if you apply early, that gives you an opportunity to apply for scholarships. If you apply for scholarships by October 1st, there's a good chance you're going to know by December, and then you'll be able to register for that priority housing. That's all the information I wanted to share tonight. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, we'll have the question and answer, and you can always contact me. Roll Tide.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful note to bring up that if folks would like to use the Q&A, please feel free. Just make a note if you'd like to talk to one for just one school or the group as a whole. With that being said, the next school you'll hear from is Sacred Heart University.
Thank you, Matthew. I'm going to share my screen here as well. All righty. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Courtney McHenry. I am the Senior Associate Director in our Office of Undergraduate Admissions here at Sacred Heart, and I oversee all of our New Jersey recruitment. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to type questions in the chat, or I can share my contact information at the end of this session. So to get started, I'm going to give kind of a quick 6 minutes 360 view of Sacred Heart here. So I will start with some Sacred Heart facts. We were founded in 1963 by the Diocese of Bridgeport. Sacred Heart is located in Fairfield, Connecticut. We are about an hour away from New York City, about 2.5 hours away from Boston, Massachusetts, and we are right on the coastline in southern Connecticut, right on the Long Island Sound. We were the first Catholic university in the US to be founded by the lay people. And that is actually why our mascot is the Pioneers. So if you've ever been on campus or on our website, you've probably seen Big Red. He is our pioneer man at Sacred Heart. We are the second largest Catholic university in New England, and our undergraduate population is about 5,600 students, whereas our total enrollment with part-time and graduate students is a little over 8,000. So we are a medium-sized school, but kind of on that smaller end of medium-sized. So to dive into academics a little bit here, here at Sacred Heart, we have 6 colleges of study. So we have the College of Arts and Sciences, which houses 2 schools, the School of Communication, Media, and the Arts, and the School of Social Work. We have our Isabel Farrington College of Education, our Jack Welch College of Business and Technology, which also houses a school, the School of Computer Science and Engineering. We have the Davis and Henley College of Nursing, which is a direct entry program. We have the College of Health Professions, and we have St. Vincent's College. Between all of these colleges of study, we have over 80 different majors, minors, and concentrations. If you are slightly panicking while you're hearing me list out these colleges, because you're not quite sure what it is you want to study in college, that is okay. You can apply as an undecided student as well. The good news is that no one graduates without a major. And then we also have over 60 different master's and doctoral programs as well, several of which can be combined with an accelerated bachelor's to graduate program. So many of our students opt to stay at Sacred Heart for the master's degree as well. The average class size at Sacred Heart is 22 students. We definitely have the individualized attention in the classroom. Your professors will definitely know your name, and the student to faculty ratio is 13:1. A good college experience is definitely defined by how you use your time. So I wanted to take kind of a moment here just to talk about some of our more popular clubs and organizations on campus. So you can see some listed out here. We've got student government, we have several academic clubs. We do have Greek life. We have 14 fraternity and sororities on campus. Greek life makes up about 25% of the student body. So it's big enough that it's there if you want it, but small enough that you don't have to take advantage of it by any means. We are Division I for athletics. We have 33 NCAA varsity sports as well as 35 club sports. And then we also have intramurals as an option as well. I usually tell my students club sports is kind of like a D3 equivalent. It's still competitive, you still have a coach, you still have practices, you still compete with other colleges and universities. And then one of my favorite fun facts about Sacred Heart is that we have a huge performing arts cohort on campus. We have as many students involved in performing arts as we do Division I athletics, which is about 1,000 students. We have band, orchestra, guard. We have several vocal ensembles. We have choir. We've got 3 different dance ensembles. We have one of the fastest growing theater arts programs in the Northeast. So we're very proud of our performing arts department. And then being a Catholic institution, we do have campus ministry on campus. You by no means have to be Catholic to attend Sacred Heart or to be involved in campus ministry, but we do have those options on campus where you can go on campus ministry retreats. And fun fact, we even have a rabbi on campus for our Jewish students. And then lastly, we are a very big school for volunteer work. Last year, collectively, the Sacred Heart University community spent 100,000 hours worth of time towards service projects, which we're very proud of. And we do have one of the largest collegiate Habitat for Humanity chapters on campus. I'll talk a little bit about living at Sacred Heart. So we do have 4 years of housing available, but we have a 2-year residency requirement. So that means you have to live on campus freshman and sophomore year. After sophomore year, it's up to you if you want to stay on campus or move off campus. Right now, we are in the process of building 4 new residence halls that are going to be solely for upperclassmen. You can see one of them pictured here. And this project will be completed. We're calling it the Upper Quad. It will be completed this May, actually. And then I'll just end my presentation here. I thought this was something that pertained solely to New Jersey students, but here at Sacred Heart, we are definitely in a big period of growth. We have built 10 new buildings in the last 5 years, and we're not stopping anytime soon. But one of our new buildings is actually a New Jersey themed diner. So our university president, John Patillo, is a New Jersey native, and he decided a couple of years ago that he wanted a Jersey themed diner on campus. So we built him one. It's open till 3 a.m. We do have disco fries and Taylor ham on the menu. So our New Jersey students feel right at home here at Sacred Heart with our New Jersey themed diner. So that's the end of my kind of 360 of Sacred Heart. And I will pass it back over to Matthew.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay, the next school you will hear from is Moore College of Art and Design.
Okay, hello everybody. Happy to be here today. So my name is Kim Brickley. I'm a senior admissions counselor at Moore College of Art and Design. I'll be the one presenting this evening. However, our New Jersey counselor, Elena Bailey, is also here. Elena, I don't know if you wanted to say hello real quickly.
Sure, yeah. Hello, everybody. So my name, like Kim said, my name is Elena Bailey. I'm your counselor. My contact info is at the bottom there, and I'm here to answer any questions you guys have. So happy to be here.
Thanks, Elena. So let's get started. So we are the first and only all-women's college for art and design in the country, and we think maybe only the second one in the world. So that's something that I always like to start with because it's part of who we are, it's part of our history. And with that being said, we also accept applications from anyone who identifies as a woman or anyone who considers themselves non-binary. We were started in 1848 by a woman. Her name was Sarah Worthington Peter, and she wanted to allow a place for women to find jobs in the art. We were started as a textile design school. And so we have a deep history of over 170 years of serving the historically underrepresented within the arts. And we've remained that way up until today. We're right in the center of Philadelphia in a really awesome area. We're right in the museum area, and all of our students get free to discounted access to all of the museums along the parkway. We have a science museum right next door. To the right of us, to the left of us, we have the Franklin Institute. Across the street, we have the Free Library. There's the Barnes Foundation diagonally, and then of course the Philadelphia Museum of Art, which everybody refers to affectionately as the Rocky Steps, a 5-minute walk away. We're a very small school. We're only about 400 to 450 students, fluctuates year to year. And that's really great for anyone who's looking for an art and design kind of nest where they want a tight community on a small campus that's urban, but then have the freedom to go out and experience the 5th largest city in the country. I've been in Philadelphia 20 years. I love that city. It's a great place to be a creative person and to become inspired. So a little bit about our curriculum. We have 8 majors, as you can see here. Film is our new major that we're adding for the next admission cycle, so you can apply and if you're interested in film. We also have 4 minors: art history, creative writing, textile design, and business. And you can also minor in any of the majors with the exception of art education. A lot of our students minor. Most creative art and design is interdisciplinary, so the curriculum is designed to be that way in a lot of respects. So let me know if you have questions about that. We have a fairly easy application process. It's just 3 elements: the online application, which we can give you a fee waiver to if you'd like, your transcripts, which should be sent from the school, but if you're having trouble with that because of COVID, just let us know. You can send unofficial ones for now. And then a portfolio of 8 to 12 works of art. They can be in any medium or style. They should be your best work in the last 2 years. And we recommend 2 to 3 observational pieces, but you don't have to submit them. And you don't have to submit things that relate to your major. If you want to, that's fine. You don't declare a major until sophomore year anyway. So don't worry if you saw that list of majors and you don't know what direction you want to go. You get a foundation year to kind of build up your 100 level art and design skills and then choose your second year or more. We are test optional. We've always been test optional. So if you have great scores, submit them. And if you're not a great test taker, you can just leave them out. We welcome personal essays and letters of recommendation. And lastly, 100% of our students receive some type of merit-based scholarship from Moore if you're accepted. So if you're accepted, you automatically get a scholarship. Aside from 100% of our students getting a scholarship, we also offer 100% of our students a paid internship. You work exclusively with the Career Center junior year to find and get hired in an internship in your field. If you are lucky enough to get a paid internship outside of Moore, you get paid on top of the stipend, which is a nice little bonus. But we're very career oriented, and in the last 3 years, between 94 and 100% of our students have found jobs in their fields upon graduation. So it's pretty good statistics. And the next slide shows you a bunch of places where our students have interned. Of course, the internship obviously depends on what major that you end up declaring. But there's a ton of opportunities, not only in Philadelphia, but around the country, sometimes even internationally. And there are fellowships internally at Moore that you can apply to if you want to do something outside of Philly that requires a little bit more money. And lastly, here are ways to contact us and show us your artwork. Again, there's Elena's contact information. We're doing portfolio boot camps if you want to prep your portfolio. They're free classes after school, and we are also offering in-person socially distanced tours. So come see us either online or in person. We'd love to host you in one way or the other. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, you will hear from Stony Brook University.
Yes, hello everyone. Let me just pull up my presentation now. Sorry, just trying to find the perfect. Okay. All right, so thank you, Matthew, and hello, everybody. My name is Emilio Del Valle. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Stony Brook University. All right, and I have the pleasure to be facilitating today's brief information session about Stony Brook. All right, so I'm going to start off by talking about a little bit about some aspects of the Stony Brook community. Okay, so we are 1 out of 64 SUNY campuses and 1 out of 4 of SUNY University centers. Okay, we are a part of the SUNY system, which stands for the State University of New York. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of public institutions here at New York. And of course, we are one of them, Stony Brook, and we are on the northern shore of Long Island. Here, as we have an aerial view of what the campus looks like, I'll just start off by pointing out about some aspects about the community and, of course, inside the campus as well. So several miles east of campus, we do have the village of Port Jefferson, a small town with lots of cool shops, coffee houses, dineries, and, of course, other entertainment for our students. You'll notice that here in this depiction on the screen, we do have a beach as well, very close. It's the West Meadow Beach. That's about 10 minutes from campus. On the east side, or on the west side of campus, rather, we also do have the LIRR. So that's the Long Island Railroad. It's a train stop actually right on campus, which can take you to New York City in just about over an hour. This is great because we're only about 60 miles away. So just in case you do have an employment opportunity or internship or other recreational use maybe in the city, it's a great transportation system which can take you all throughout Long Island and into New York City. Additionally, I would like to highlight some academic resources on campus. And of course, that includes our University Hospital Center, which you can't see on the screen, but also our med school and our dental school as well. Of course, if any of these places mentioned interest you, we do have a shuttle service on campus. So we have a loop in the center of campus, which will take you all throughout campus, but also off campus as well. Okay, so we were founded in 1957. Our campus does span over 1,000 acres. Okay, we have a total student population of just over 26,000. And of course, of that total 26,000, we do have about 18,000 undergraduate students. So the undergraduate students are the overwhelming majority. Okay, so here at Stony Brook University, we do have over 200 academic programs. Okay, so that includes majors, minors, and combined degree programs as well. And all of those programs will fall under one of these colleges and schools here. Okay, so you'll see here that we have the College of Arts and Sciences. So this will really house our science programs, our humanities students, and of course, our fine and performing arts students. Okay, then we have our College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. So this will house our more technical types of majors. So all the engineering programs, but also the computer science and information system programs as well. Then we have our College of Business. Okay, so this will house our popular business management program. Then we have a School of Journalism, which you'll be pleased to know, which we actually are the only SUNY school that has a School of Journalism. So we really value the students and this program as well. And they're definitely doing lots of cool things over there. I remember not that long ago, I was able to go stop by and see some of the cool resources and tools that they're using. They have a whole green screen, they're broadcasting, they control the whole newspaper on campus. So they're doing lots of cool things there. And we want to provide that to students as part of the SUNY system. Then we have the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, also known as SOMAS. Okay, and you'll see here on the screen, we actually have an image of some of our SOMAS students who, and this really shows that we, of course, value learning in the classroom, but we also want students to get hands-on experience. If you look far in the back here on the right side of the screen, you'll notice a boat in the water. This is on our Southampton part of campus, and we'll actually have some of our students studying marine life go on this boat and get some hands-on experience, with that program specifically. Then we have our School of Nursing and School of Social Welfare program. These are both considered two-year upper division programs. So what this means is students would traditionally or typically rather come into the institution as either a pre-nursing student or a pre-social welfare student. They'll do about 2 years of pre-admission prerequisite coursework to then later apply at the end of their sophomore year for direct admission into one of these programs. Just speaking on the School of Nursing program, being that we have that University Hospital Center on campus, we have great opportunities for even first year and sophomore students to get that volunteer experience in that hospital setting as soon as they start on campus. And then, of course, we have our School of Health Technology and Management, and this will house both our clinical and non-clinical tracks. Okay, and so just continuing on with academics here at Stony Brook, we do want to make sure we are preparing our students for these pre-professional or professional careers rather. And so we do have pre-professional advisement on campus, which will help students who are interested in healthcare, whether they're a pre-law student, a pre-med student, a pre-dental student, pre-veterinary student, or whatever it may be. We do have pre-professional advisors here on campus. We're going to make sure you have a competitive application, whether or not you're applying for graduate school or pursuing your studies at our institution or at another institution. They're going to work with you along the way to make sure you're taking the right prerequisite courses, the right pre-admission courses, but also making sure that you're getting that experiential learning opportunities, that internship, that shadowing, that volunteer opportunities to make sure you do have a competitive application. As we know, some of these programs are quite competitive and difficult to get into. And of course, if you are one of those students who are interested in becoming a doctor or a dentist, we do have that School of Medicine and School of Dental Medicine here at the university. Okay, so now to speak about some aspects of living on campus. Traditionally, we would have over 10,000 students living on campus, which is great. We do have the largest residential population in the SUNY system. And just to remind you, we are 1 out of 64 SUNY institutions. Okay, so this is great because it gives our students the chance to live in different quad areas, and we do have different themes in which students can live in. All right, and just to end off here, I'm just gonna speak about some amazing aspects, traditions that we have here at Stony Brook. So you'll just see here 4 different areas are 4 different things that are actually my favorite, including Roth Pond Regatta, where students are building boats out of cardboard and duct tape, Homecoming, where you're showing school spirit. Then we have our Earthstock event, which celebrates sustainability, and of course, our amazing concerts, which happen twice a year on campus. All right, so I'll end off there, and thank you all for attending today.
Thank you so much. It was fantastic to hear from all of you. I think we have time for one group question. I'm going to ask our reps to turn cameras back on, and then we'll all take turns answering the same question. The order to go in is just the ones that we started with. But the question I'd like to ask, what advice or tips would you give someone going through the college search process right now?
I would say, to show us who you are holistically as a student, I think now more so than ever, especially with our institution being test optional, we're looking at all aspects. So really use that recommendation and that college essay to really let us know who you are as a person. Of course, academics is important, but really take that time to show us what community involvement have you had, what extracurriculars have you taken part of, and definitely things that are all taken into account when looking at that college piece or that admissions piece.
I can go next. We're the complete opposite of that, in that we don't use a holistic approach. We are really just looking at grades for admission. But something I always like to advise students is to just make sure that when you're researching for an institution that is the best fit for you. And now that everything's virtual, you have endless opportunity to just go on and research institutional websites and webinars and things like that, and just make sure that the institution that you're looking at is the best fit for you. And when you see that school, you can envision yourself there as well.
Yeah, and just going kind of off of what she just said, my advice was going to be to visit campuses either in person or virtually. The campus visit, I think, is a huge piece because you want to know if that university is a good fit for you, right? And of course, the pandemic may have limited some of your options for visiting some schools in person. That's okay. Most schools are offering several virtual information sessions, tours, interviews, and definitely take advantage of those. And I would say another piece of advice is to reach out to your admissions representatives at the schools that you're interested in applying to. Get to know them, because then they can put a face to the name when they review your application.
I would add that it's important to start early. For the University of Alabama, the application is going to open in July. That is so students can apply early and get accepted and be able to apply for scholarships by the January 15th deadline. But even earlier, like I mentioned before, this year, if you applied by 10/31 for scholarships, you were able to get a scholarship decision by December 1st. which is then going to enable you to make a decision about housing more realistically. And then if you apply early for housing, that's going to help you get priority selection for housing. Also with test scores, it's even if it ends up being test optional, it's important to give yourself as many chances to take the test, which will help you qualify for the automatic scholarship. So, hopefully by being here tonight, you've already begun that early process, and I do encourage you to continue that.
Great. And for us, as an art-focused school, I would really encourage you all to reach out to me. I'd love to be a part of the process of you guys creating your portfolios for your college admissions. We're more than happy to look at your pieces in progress, or look them over and give you advice about things to add and things to look for. So as our creatives are getting to work in the midst of all this pandemic and stress, we're just always so grateful to see everyone's work and to really enjoy that creative side. So that's it for us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all again so much. Thank you to the reps who spent the time here with us, and thank you to students who joined. Just a quick note as we wrap up, as the screen closes out, a survey will pop up. It's really quick. If you could take the time to fill it out, that'd be fantastic. This is the end of this fair, but all of these schools have shared wonderful ways where you can reach out to hear more about them, spend more time on their websites or hear more about their schools. Please do so with the ones that felt right to you. Lean into the joy of finding the school that is your right fit. And like I had said, give us about a week and you'll be able to see this filmed once again, to look back, to take notes, and to really find the right fit for you. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night. Stay well and be safe.